What's going on, Print Fam? It's your boy Cam, and welcome to the Print Life. Roll the intro. So it's Tuesday, August the 7th, and it's 10:01 a.m. I've already opened. Got a handful of things on the agenda today. Most importantly, in regards to the vlog, is the Q&A. I normally shoot them on Monday, but I didn't shoot one yesterday, so I'm going to be shooting the Q&A today. But that'll come a little bit later. First, I just got to break these boxes open and get them stacked up by jobs. I mean, I don't know how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, the life of a printer, huh? The life of a printer. Before we can tackle all that, you may remember from last Friday, we had a rush job for a good client, and we got it done. It was like a last minute thing. There weren't that many of them, but we were able to get it done like in the next day kind of situation, which was good. However, and this seems to happen every goddamn time, there's a rush. I skipped a step, and the step that I skipped was because we were in such a tight timeline. We had done the job for them before, and because we'd done the job before, I assumed we knew what we were doing. I skipped the mock-up step, pushed it right into print production because I thought we were all on the same page. Me and Jesse. When we went into production, or when Jesse started printing, I was in the office with a client talking with them, so I was distracted. He was asking me if something was correct, and I looked at it and I said, yeah, looks good, I guess. You know, I was distracted. Because I was distracted, he thought he was asking me something, I thought he was asking something different. Lines got crossed, and we swapped the colors on the logo. So, because it was supposed to go here and here, and we swapped them. Didn't catch it until the client called back yesterday, Monday, saying that we had swapped the goddamn colors. This is the kind of shit that I've tried to develop systems to avoid, and it really, truly goes to show how if you skip a step in the system, you will typically pay for it. Almost always. If you create a system to prevent errors, stick to the fucking system. Idiot. 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 Some kind of idiot. And also train your people to utilize the system to get information. One of the great things about the system I built is that you can click on a client's account and check previous orders if you're not clear on the way a particular art piece is supposed to go. But hey, that's water under the bridge for us. We're just going to keep moving forward. We're going to use the press. We're going to get it set up as soon as the client drops off the new batch of shirts, which of course we had to pay for. We'll be able to just get them printed really quick, probably a half hour later, and they'll be able to pick up. I got the shirts over here on the sorting table. Now I just got to figure out what shirts go to what invoice and do all that sorting stuff. It'll be quick. There you go. I just got to print the back for the, what are those called? For the Prism Blues. That sounds weird. It's almost like I was singing. The Bella Prism Blue shirts also have a back print. Anyway, now it's shooting over here, and in about 1,000 years, this film will be printed and ready to use. The printer's slow. As I'm going through here and figuring out what we have, what we don't have, one of the jobs is clearly going to take a while because it's performance shirts from Badger, and those don't come from our warehouse, they come from the Badger warehouse, so it takes a lot longer for us to get them. I'm just doing a real quick phone call to the client to let them know the situation so that they don't have to call me. Hey, I'm actually looking for Christopher, or Chris. So he was understanding of the situation. I have found that as long as you call your clients and let them know the situation, they're much more understanding. The only time they're not understanding is if they have a very strict deadline. This is the final one for that. This is a left chest print. Time to reset the chip. Alright guys, Jesse's here. He's right there. He's pretending to do work. It reminded me though that we have a bunch of S-mesh screens here that I still need to liquid tape. I also just called Advanced Screen and ordered another, whatever they had in stock of the 150 S meshes. But I'm gonna go ahead and liquid tape those screens that I got in there. Let's see. Uh-oh. Actually, we're out. Now liquid tape, and we're running quite low on the curing agent. I won't be liquid taping today, but I will be ordering more liquid tape. Let's head over to the computer. Here's what I want, the Nasdar B535 liquid tape adhesive. Purchase the additive right here. They don't come together, so you have to order it separately. I'm also gonna put a link to the stuff in the description of this video in case some of y'all want to acquire it. Here's the thing, it's 123 bucks with shipping. It's kind of a lot, but in my personal opinion, it's worth it. You guys have to determine that for yourselves. However, I do recommend that if you're going to use the liquid tape system, understand that it is permanent. It's always on the mesh. So don't do all of your screens, do a few of them, test it to see if you like it. And if you do like it, you know, then continue to apply it to the remaining screens in your inventory. The biggest downside to it is in the reclaiming process. It's not a complete pain in the ass, but it is a little bit of a pain in the ass to reclaim them. Now is as good a time as any to dive into the Monday Q&A that I'm actually conducting on Tuesday. So it's Tuesday Q&A, but it should have been a Monday Q&A. I'm heading over to the Print Life Facebook group now. If you're not subscribed, go send a request to join right now on Facebook. Dylan Barber, why is writing pricing grids such a pain in the ass? Well, I mean, writing them is not a pain in the ass, but getting the numbers right is a pain in the ass. It's actually a gigantic pain in the ass. Allison Reichart, okay, they have a yellow 280 screen, and they're asking how do they get this image to hold up when they're doing the washout. More than likely, if it's washing out, you're underexposing it. So if you're hitting it with water and it's breaking down really quickly, you're underexposing it. But before you check that, I would strongly urge you to check your degreasing habits. When you are degreasing a screen, you're going to wet both sides, or just wet one side, doesn't matter. You put whatever kind of degreaser, dehazer you got on there, whether it's the pink stuff or the 701 from EasyWay, there's a ton of options. And you apply it to your mesh. Now, you should technically have two different scrub pads. One for your frame, that's your dirty pad. But you should also have an extremely clean, pristine scrub pad that you use solely for degreasing the mesh. That scrub pad does not touch anywhere on that screen but the mesh. You spray your degreaser, dehazer on there. You use the clean scrub pad to scrub both sides of the mesh. Then you let it sit for 2 minutes in most cases. You rinse it. You have to thoroughly rinse that degreaser off there. Then, when you set it aside to dry, you need to coat that mesh the same goddamn day. Do not let freshly degreased screens sit overnight. Especially don't dry them with a fan blowing on them, anything like that. Reason being, mesh has a high tendency to hold static, and that static sucks all kinds of dust particles to it. And then when you coat it, and you've now trapped those dust particles in there, and then you go to expose it and then wash it out, and of course the image just blasts away. So that was a very long explanation for a very simple answer. Reevaluate your degreasing and coating techniques, and then just up your times on the exposure, and that image should hold up for you. I would also say, I would strongly urge you to look into these LED lights. We just got one, and I still haven't fully retrofitted the timer, but we are using it. And I mean, the differences in what detail you can hold with that compared to my old halogen bulb that was in the exposure unit, it's like a night and day difference. So I would strongly urge you to look into LED. Okay, that was an extremely long answer. Moving on. The goddamn battery just died. Karen Brown, fibrillation. Can I use silicone spray from an auto parts store? I would not. It's going to be the same price to get the silicone spray from your screen print supplier. And the stuff from an auto parts store is just going to have, like, I think extra stuff in there that would probably adhere to your first layer of ink, causing some adhesion problems with the next print layers. So I would highly advise against it. However, I'm all for testing stuff out, possibly test it out on a run that's not a client job, on a personal job. Okay, this next one's from Michael Maxwell Jr. Tired of the net cutout platen. What size does everyone have for the square platen? I think ours is 16 by, is it 16 by 20? It's the standard M&R square platen. Alright, this next question is from Ryan Marsh, and I've answered similar questions in the past, actually many times, but might as well answer it again. And he asks, those of you who have only just started printing or have just upgraded from their starting stages, What do you recommend as a starting point for your shop equipment wise? Really good film printer from Epson, as new as you can get. A great way to expose the screens, whether you're going to build it or whatever, or buy it. Get LED. There's no reason to go halogen or metal halide anymore. LED is the shit. And it does appear like you can make these things for yourself pretty fucking cheaply. So look into making your LED exposure unit. And then last but not least, a good press. I would say just go directly to the 4-station 6-color floor model. It needs to have micros. It needs to have off-contact adjustment. And also, a bonus is if it has an adapter so that you can adapt M&R palettes. This next question is from Madison Smith. And I'm going to show you guys the graphic first so you know what we're talking about here. This graphic is being printed on a black t-shirt, and I'm considering using black ink instead of taking advantage of the shirt color, because it seems like it wouldn't really look the way it should if I only used the shirt color for the black in the hat part of the graphic. And you are right, without like a white outline around the hat, it's really not going to show up. However, it would be very easy for you to utilize the white that you're already going to have in the graphic and put an outline around the hat. And most clients actually really like the look. If, however, you're not going to add an outline around the hat, or if they don't want it, then yeah, you're probably just going to need to print the black ink to give it some definition. Newbie question from Brian Duber. Does anyone have any suggestions for YouTube channels to follow besides the Print Life? No, I don't. You will only watch the Print Life. Some good recommendations are Vega 23. I watch his a lot. T-Shirt Chick. I watch hers a lot. We got Catspit Productions, Ryanet. Who else? Rye Beats. It's Rye Beats. I think it's Rye 23, or it might be the Daily Grind. Can't remember what the name of his channel is. You got Mikey Designs and Screen Printing. You have got How to Screen Print at Home, I think it is. That's 8. So enjoy any of those 8. But make sure you watch all of my videos first, and then go watch theirs. Okay? Mine first, then theirs. Not the other way around. This is from Ryan Marshall. What are your guys' opinions on hiring a sales rep on commission only? Like some retired guy just looking for something to do. Most sales reps, or a sales rep worth a flying fuck, is going to work on commission only. I sold cars for a long time, and it was commission only. Now, I've never hired a sales rep for the print shop, but I've seen the sales rep process and how you go about getting them. And that's the trick, man. You're going to have a high turnover. You're going to keep cycling through people until you get a true salesperson. So the way that you're going to acquire most of your sales rep is through commission negotiation. And a lot of them will come already with it, or not. Or you'll have to build a salesperson yourself. You'll hire a bunch of people. You'll keep bringing them on. You'll tell them it's a 100% commission. You're basically giving them an opportunity. And the right person, after you cycle through enough of them, will latch on to the opportunity, and they'll start bringing in work. Or they won't. It's something that as soon as we get a few more things in place, I will be looking very strongly into the hiring and firing and the process of bringing on sales reps. And I have no intention of paying them anything other than 100% commission. I mean, I don't know a lot of large shops, but I would wager large chunks of cash that the majority of large shops that have a lot of work coming in have a sales rep that's acquiring most of that. And most of them could not have done it on their own without outside sales sources. That's just an assumption, but it's an assumption I'm pretty confident in. If you're trying to go from like 500K or 200 or 500K a year to $1 million a year, or 2 million or 5 million a year, you know, obviously there's going to need to be some automation in place, and then you're probably going to need sales reps. This is from DN Crow. Hi all, looking for some help. I'll be doing a sign job of corrugated plastic signs, and I was wondering what kind of ink I can use that will dry by air, so that I can print them instead of using vinyl on them. Any help would be greatly appreciated. So NASDAR makes all of those kind of solvent-based inks. Actually, I can't remember the series of it, but let me see what it is. NASDAR. Yeah, it's the color plastic ink. We have a bunch of it in there. I used to do a lot of corrugated sign stuff. It'll air dry. The thing with printing this kind of solvent-based ink is like, first off, you have to know how to print with water-based. You know, you got to do the back floods and all that stuff to prevent drying. Second is the cleanup, man. You got to find the NASDAR cleanup solutions for getting that ink out of the screen, dude, because that was the first thing I tried doing. And I was just using mineral spirits, and ended up, as I was cleaning it, it locked the emulsion into the screen, so that screen was toast. So there's very special cleanup or chemicals for cleaning up that solvent-based ink, and get that stuff from NASDAR as well. All right, so you're setting up Jet Pro?
Yep.
Okay. So the shirts that we screwed up are here. Jesse's setting them now. He's going to get those reprinted. That'll probably be done within the hour, at which time he is going to dive into this stack and then this stack. Yeah, I got to show Jesse something so that we can get these printed as well. We have this job that the client requests. Normally we would upcharge for doing a high density, you know, thing, but the client requested it, and it's been a while since I've done one successfully, so this one's going to be cool because it's going to be black high density, which just looks so cool. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? There is an expert in high density, manual high density printing in the name of Mad Specials. He's on Instagram. But let's see. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to reach out to this man. This is him. If you ever have been interested in seeing some high density printing at its finest, this is the guy to look for. Miles DeGroot, aka Miles DeGroot, aka Mad Specials, via Instagram. Look at that, dude. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. As you can see, Mad Special has got game in the high density department. So what I'm going to do then is just hit him up in the DM on Instagram and see what advice he has for us lowly screen printers trying to get better at high density printing. So I sent him a DM asking him if he can answer 2 questions for me. And of course, you know, if someone's a screen printer like that who has a very specialized skill, they're going to be kind of hesitant to offer any advice. I also told him that I'm vlogging about it and that I would shout him out for sharing the knowledge. So hopefully that's enough incentive for him to answer my questions. Yay, he responded. Okay, so question number 1. Do you need to lay down a base print before printing the high density screen? And he says sometimes yes. Okay, so I'm gonna follow up with that. And so I just told him, let's say black ink on a white cotton tee, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. So he is actually saying that if you were doing a black high density on a white t-shirt, he would print it direct, no underbase. So the next thing I ask him is, okay, so you fill the openings with ink, and then you got it. In my experience, you have to get it in 1 stroke. If you try to do 2, it kind of jumbles the image up. So what if you don't clear the image on 1 stroke? On a manual, print it again without filling it again. Does the underbase make clearing the image easier? The underbase doesn't really when you are printing 700 whatever M, I'm assuming, I don't know what MU with that weird squiggly line means, but I'm assuming that's the thickness of like a really thick stencil. It does, but the first and second screens must be in perfect registration. So you do need an underbase. It helps when you have a really thick print you're trying to create. That's what I'm assuming. How do you create your stencil? Capillary, or do you build up the emulsion? And I misspelled all kinds of shit because I don't proofread, but hey, that's the way it goes. So he'll do it both ways. Sometimes he'll use capillary, sometimes he'll build up the emulsion, but he prefers cap film. So, if you were going to build up stencil thickness, how would you do it with emulsion? I'm super excited to hear what he has to say about building up stencil thickness with emulsion, because it's time consuming as fuck. Coat the screen like you normally would, let it dry, and then build up from there. Or use Kiwo thick coat. I don't have the Kiwo thick coat, but what I do have is right here. I have Aquasol High Solid, so this is a super thick. Anyway, my dude, I think your name's Milo, but probably not. But Mad Specials, thank you for the advice. All of you guys who are watching this, make sure to head on over to Instagram and follow him at Mad Specials. That's, well, actually, I'll link his Instagram profile in the description. But I'm also going to spell it out for you here. It's MADSPECIALS. And then as I'm telling him peace out, I accidentally tapped the heart thing, so it looks like I fucking told him I love him. Gay. No homo, dude. No homo. Good.
No, you got number 4, right?
Yeah, presents for me, huh?
Camera?
Yep.
There you go.
Sweet, thank you.
All right, cool.
Yep. You too. Motherfucker. Look at this shit. This is humongous. It's nice though. I ain't gonna lie. And this is also going to unscrew. This goes on here. And that. And this big bastard. For whatever reason, 100 guildens were automatically ordered through our shop management system. We don't need them, I gotta send it back. Okay, now Jesse's working on a 2-color print for Ghost Town Media. He's setting it up upside down because this is a pocket print, and we'll show you how we deal with that in a second. Jesse's getting this one set up for Ghost Town. He's registering it right now, and he's going to be starting production soon. There you go. And he always sprays silicone on the bottom of the overprint color just to prevent sticking. It works like a charm, right? Alright, Prep fam, thank you so much for hanging with me and Jesse today. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and ding the bell so that you're notified when I upload. And other than that, you know what you gotta do. Take care of yourselves, Prep fam. Hey, yeah. Peace out.